Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We're going to unpack a true powerhouse of a workflow, and that is the complete JD Edwards procure-to-pay process for stock items. Now, if you work in supply chain or you use this ERP every day, you know exactly how massive this process is. But instead of looking at it as this giant, overwhelming mountain of tasks, I want you to think of it as a beautifully arranged line of dominoes. When you set that very first domino up correctly, the rest of the chain reaction is smooth, inevitable, and honestly, incredibly satisfying. Today, we are going to master setting up that entire board.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The procure-to-pay journey. 2. Creating your purchase order. 3. Printing the purchase order. 4. Entering the GRN receipt. And 5. Finalizing with batch posting.
Section 1. The procure-to-pay journey. Let's get the lay of the land.
So here is the overarching 4-step journey we're taking today. It starts with entering the purchase order, then moves to printing it, processing the receipt when the goods actually arrive, and it finishes with batch posting. What I really love about seeing it laid out like this is just how logical it all is. You see, JD Edwards is structurally designed so that once step 1 is executed perfectly, the data cascades down. The rest of the steps just naturally follow.
And that brings us exactly to this point. The purchase order is the foundational catalyst. It's that crucial first domino we talked about. Because of that, we're really going to focus heavily today on how to create purchase orders effectively. Get this right, ensure your data entry is completely precise here, and you unlock a totally frictionless supply chain process downstream. But make an error here? Well, you'll definitely be feeling it at the loading dock and in the accounting department later.
Section 2. Creating your purchase order. Let's move to the system and see how this builds.
To begin building that foundation, we're going to navigate through the system architecture. From the EnterpriseOne menu, we step into Logistic Management, go down into Procurement and Subcontract Management, and finally, we click into Daily Processing. It's a very deliberate path, moving you straight to your specific workspace. From Daily Processing, we just drill down into Stock-Based Purchasing, then Purchase Order Processing, and we finally arrive at Enter Purchase Order. Clicking the Add icon here opens up a totally blank canvas for your new PO.
Now, what's really interesting about these 5 specific data points is that they are basically the DNA of your entire transaction. You absolutely have to populate this screen with vital info. First, your branch plant. For example, you might type in B0 to specify your exact location. Then you need your supplier and your ship-to details. Finally, the exact item number and the order quantity. These specific inputs literally dictate the accuracy of everything that follows. Think about it. If your branch plant is wrong, your downstream inventory numbers are wrong. If the item number is off, the wrong boxes show up on the receiving dock. This is the moment where you need to bring absolute focus.
Once everything is perfectly inputted, you save the process. Whatever you do, don't forget to save. That locks in all your hard work. By hitting save, you've officially finalized the first, the most important, and honestly the most heavily detailed step of our explainer today. The first domino is officially set.
Section 3. Printing the purchase order. Let's make it official. Notice how familiar this navigation path feels. We trace back through the EnterpriseOne menu, Logistic Management, and Procurement, right down the exact same logical path we just walked. But at the very end, the path branches slightly. Instead of entering a PO, you're going to select Print Purchase Order. JD Edwards deliberately keeps these related tasks grouped closely together, which honestly is a fantastic architectural choice for user flow.
The actions here are super simple. You'll choose your specific version, provide any required background info the prompt asks for, and just execute the print command. Then, you wait a brief moment for the system to generate the printed PO. It's a quick, really satisfying step that turns your diligent data entry from step 1 into a tangible, actionable document.
Section 4. Entering the GRN receipt. It's time for the goods to arrive.
Let's fast forward in time a bit. The truck is backed into the loading dock, and it's time for the actual goods to enter our system. But before we click anywhere, let's make sure we define our terms. GRN stands for Goods Receipt Note. For our newer users out there, when someone tells you to do the GRN, this is exactly what they mean. It is the official system process for receiving physical stock items and matching them directly against that pristine purchase order you created back in step 1.
To do this, we head right back into our trusty menu path, Logistic Management, Procurement, straight through to our stock-based purchasing folder. Only this time, you'll click on Enter Receipt by PO. Once again, you can really see how beautifully grouped these related stock purchasing tasks are within the ERP.
To find your specific purchase order, you'll need to enter your search criteria. That's your order number, your branch plant, and the item number. Searching and processing the receipt right here generates a highly crucial piece of data, and that is the pre-batch number. Which brings us to a really important question. How do we actually use this batch number? I mean, we just generated it, it's sitting there in the system, but what is its actual purpose for the final step? Section 5. Finalizing with batch posting. Let's finish this up.
So, the crucial point is that this batch number is our bridge to the final phase. This is what completes the entire procure-to-pay loop. For this final stretch, you're going to open application P041, which is the dedicated batch posting module, with your version. Just click the plus icon to initiate the application. We are right at the finish line.
You'll be prompted to re-enter a few key details: order number, branch plant, supplier. Notice anything familiar? This is the exact same data we established way back in step 1. The careful work of creating that purchase order accurately is still driving the process right here at the very end. The system is relying entirely on that initial accuracy.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final choreography. You just go up to the Form menu and select Receipt to Match to pull your data, and then you select it once more to officially confirm it. Let it process, just a few final deliberate clicks, and boom, your batch is posted. You have officially, end-to-end, concluded the procurement-to-pay process for your stock items.
Take a look at what we just accomplished. By focusing so deeply on creating that purchase order perfectly at the very beginning, the printing, the receiving, and the batch posting practically took care of themselves. Knowing how this first domino sets everything in motion, how will mastering this foundation transform your daily JD Edwards efficiency? Just think about the sheer amount of time you'll save and the downstream errors you'll completely prevent. I strongly encourage you to take this structured workflow and apply it to your system today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I will catch you next time.